Hey guys, it's Eric here, and in this video we're going to be finding out if you should save money by getting the vanilla TECNO Camon 12 over the more expensive Pro version that I reviewed earlier. Full disclosure, you don't get this VIP packaging when you buy in the retail store, as this was sent to me by Tecno Mobile exclusively. What you do get in the store is this box that's pretty similar to the Camon 12 Pros. You have some of the specs on the side and back. When you open it up, you're greeted with the device. Let's go ahead and peel out the sticker on the back and on the front. You get an envelope that holds the warranty card, a user manual. You can see all the 4G LTE bands that it supports here, including Glow 4G band 28, a SIM ejector tool, a hard glass screen protector, textured TPU case with Manchester City logo embossed on it. On the bottom compartment, you have a 1.2 amp charger, a micro USB cable, and a pair of earphones. On the front, you have a 6.52-inch HD Plus IPS LCD display with 20:9 aspect ratio. On top of that display, you have a dot notch that houses a 16-megapixel camera with dual flash and earpiece. On the back, you have a 16-megapixel main shooter, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide lens, and a 2-megapixel camera for depth sensing with quad flash. You also get a fingerprint sensor on the back and some TECNO branding. On the left, you have a 3-in-1 tray that houses two 4G LTE nano SIMs and an SD card. On the right, you have a power button and volume rocker. On the top, you have nothing. On the bottom, you have a 3.5mm headphone jack, a microphone, a micro USB port, and a speaker. The Camon 12's back and frame are made from a shiny polycarbonate material, and the dark jade color may look like black under certain lighting, but is actually a gradient color. I'm not a fan of black phones, but this color is pretty interesting. The Camon 12 uses a 20:9 long form factor, and even though it's just as wide as the Pro variant, it's taller and thicker. It's curvy around the edges, it's quite light in relation to its size, but the case adds a bit of heft to it. Speaking of case, you cannot use the case of the Camon 12 Pro or Phantom 9 on the Camon 12 and vice versa because of the taller dimensions, plus you don't want to cover your fingerprint sensor on the back. On the front, the Camon 12 doesn't use the AMOLED or under-display fingerprint technology. The HD Plus IPS LCD display is not quite as crisp as the Camon 12 Pros, and YouTube videos are still capped at 720p here. That being said, it's not a terrible display. It is bright outdoors, it's responsive to type on, and has great viewing angles. You get basic settings like eye care, reading mode, and an option to hide the notch. In the settings, we see that it comes with 4 gigs of RAM, which is less than the 6 gigs of RAM on the Pro version. We have 64 gigs of storage here with over 54 gigs available to use. It runs on Android 9 Pie with the latest HiOS version 5.5 slapped on top of it. By now, you already know what the latest version of HiOS packs, so let's skip to the performance. The processor powering this guy is the Helio P22 Octa-Core CPU clocked at 2.0 GHz, same one on the Camon 12 Pro. From what I realized about this chip based on my experience, it is more seamless and lag-free when paired with lots of RAM. It doesn't get too hot and is very battery efficient because it's a 12nm process technology. It is not the fastest or most powerful Mediatek mid-range chip I've experienced, but it is adequate for all your social media apps and messaging. The fingerprint sensor takes about half a second to unlock, but it is accurate most of the time. The face unlock takes about half that time to unlock, and it skips through the animations pretty quickly. If you want to check out your notifications without unlocking your phone, I suggest you go to Settings and Security and switch to Remain in Lock Screen. When it comes to gaming, it uses the PowerVR GE8320 and it runs pretty much the same as the Camon 12 Pro. I posted on my stories that the PES 2019 has been updated to run smoothly on all the Helio chipsets with PowerVR GPU, even more so than PUBG, which still has few occasional lags. So if you're a big fan of PES 2019, you will enjoy gaming on the Camon 12 series. You even get an AI mode that stops any background activity from interrupting your gameplay. About battery life, I got through a full day of use using mostly social media apps and 4 hours of playing PUBG, all on Wi-Fi. This gave me 12 hours of screen on time at the end of the day with 10% left to spare. Using the Camon 12 Pro like this will get you about 9 hours of screen on time, and while this is more than enough for the average user, the difference in battery endurance plays a key role as to why you may consider the vanilla over the Pro variant. It took me 3 hours and 45 minutes to charge from 0 to 100%, which is forever and a day, basically 1 whole hour and 45 minutes longer than the charging time of the Camon 12 Pro It also didn't speed things up when I used the fast charger because it doesn't support fast charging. The camera on the Camon 12 has the exact same triple camera configuration on the back as that of the Camon 12 Pro and Phantom 9. If you've seen my blind camera comparison video, you already know that their output isn't the same. I'll be leaving a link up above and somewhere down below in the description. You get excellent dynamic range on this guy, and the ultra wide lens produces even better contrast. You get macro mode, which helps focus when you go really close to your subjects, and outdoor images come out looking really great for a budget phone. Now, where the Camon 12 does differ in specs is in its selfie camera, which is a 16 megapixel lens, and while it's not bad as a standalone and even manages better exposure levels, it definitely won't capture as much details as the Camon 12 Pro or Phantom 9. Portrait mode also appears to produce punchier colors than normal mode, which is something worth noting. Indoors, I think the primary camera appears to capture more light than the Phantom 9. The dual front firing flash also gives off that shaky motion effect. Hopefully an update fixes this. It shoots videos in 1080p. The TECNO Camon 12 may be more popular because of its lower price point, but there are some obvious features that may make the Pro version stand out and some not so obvious ones. I don't think many will care that the Google Assistant button is gone, but surely that under-display fingerprint technology of the Pro is not something you see on every budget phone. You also get more RAM on the Pro. It may come down to how much you really love taking selfies, as the quality is way better on the Pro. For me, I think the price difference should be the major decision-making factor here, because the price is 47,500 Naira, which is 14,000 Naira less than the price of the Pro. You're getting value for all of the Pro's features, but I'm not sure the difference is worth that much for every user, especially those who don't take a lot of selfies. You not only get to save money with the Camon 12, which shares a lot of the same core features as the Pro, you also get a bigger screen size and better battery life on this guy. Do let me know in the comments which you prefer. If you found this video useful, do give it a thumbs up and share it. Also follow me on Twitter and Instagram to see what I'm up to. Please subscribe for more videos like this, as it will mean a lot to me, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.